Okay, so let's have a look at color shift tests here, comparing the NiSi and the TrueND filters to see if there's any noticeable image color shift when using the ND. So here's our base reference here, no ND here. The camera has been white balanced under these conditions. It's just to give me a baseline as to what happens once I start adding ND. So now we're going across. That's the NiSi at 0.6. Again, still remaining very, fairly neutral at those at 0.6. Now we go across. This is the TrueND at 0.6. Again, very neutral. Still holding very well. Colors remaining very accurate. Now let's ramp that level up to 0.9. See what's going to happen. So there's a NiSi at 0.9. You'll see there's a little bit of a magenta shift now starting to happen on the whites, but still holding fairly well. There's the TrueND at 0.9. White is very white, still remaining extremely neutral. Now here they are side by side, the NiSi and the TrueND. So you can see, on the new shooter cup up there, you can see the slight magenta shift, and you can see it on the wall. Now let's raise it up to 1.5. This is where we start to see filters start to struggle normally. So there's the NiSi at 1.5. Still remaining pretty good. There's a definite magenta shift there, warmer to the image. Now we've gone across as the TrueND at 1.5, still remaining extremely neutral, but both images are looking good. Again, here's the side-by-side comparison, so you can see what's happening there. Still doing both of them doing a very good job. You just see the slight magenta shift on the NiSi above. Now let's raise it up to 2.1 and have a look again. Again, here's the NiSi at 2.1, still looking pretty good, slight magenta shift again, but still remaining very accurate considering the amount of ND, very impressive. Here's the TrueND, still remaining incredibly neutral, as you can see from the image there, doing a good job at all the way up at 2.1. Let's split screen them again. As you can see the slight magenta shift in the whites there. The TrueND probably remaining the most neutral of the two there for sure. But very impressive to see the NiSi doing that. Now let's have a look at how they both compare at ND 2.1 against an image that has no ND added to it at all. You can see in the split screen. So there's the NiSi at 2.1 and there's no ND. You can see the the shift there in the magenta slightly, but still doing pretty good job. And again, here we go is the TrueND and no ND. As you can see, very, very close. Very hard to spot the difference between those two images. Very neutral indeed. And let's see how they retain color consistency when we go from 0.6 up to 2.1. So we're going to look at the image to see it move. So there's 0.6, very well controlled here on the NiSi, very accurate. You can see there's the magenta shift starting to come in there at 0.9. Again, 1.5. It's maybe a slightly less magenta than the previous image, but it's still remaining reasonably consistent. And then we'll take it up to 2.1. Now this filter proved to be pretty good at 2.1. Considering the amount of ND that we were adding. Now here's the TrueND series, 0.6. Then we'll roll in 0.9. As you can see, it remains very, very consistent no matter how much ND that you add in. There's 1.5. It's almost like looking at the same image. It's remarkable just how well they do. And then all the way up to 2.1. So you can see the consistency is one of the things that the TrueND really has going for it.